If you have ever felt a cow's tongue, you know exactly what this looks like. It is jarringly abrasive. It begs an immediate question. Why does a sensory organ inside a living animal's mouth feel exactly like coarse industrial sandpaper? A popular assumption is that the surface is actually covered in thousands of miniature hidden teeth. That is completely false. While the tongue is a taste organ, its design serves a much more physical purpose. This is a specialized tool for handling and manipulating feed. Every single day, a cow processes a massive volume of coarse stems, dry forage, and dense plant matter. This material is physically harsh. Without hands or grasping appendages, the animal relies entirely on its oral anatomy to reach out and pull that rough environment in. If you were to drag a human tongue across those same dry stems for hours at a time, the soft tissue would quickly bleed and degrade under the constant friction. For a cow to survive this daily wear, its mouth requires a level of physical durability that allows for constant abrasive contact. The rough texture comes from specific structures called lingual papillae, which are small projections extending directly from the dorsal surface of the tongue. While some of these papillae house taste buds and serve a sensory role, a massive portion of them do not. Their function is purely mechanical. The durability of these mechanical papillae relies on a touch structural protein called keratin, forming a thick protective shield. This biological armor allows jagged plant fibers to scrape forcefully across the surface, deflecting damage away from delicate tissue underneath. Beneath that armor is a core of skeletal muscle, operating like a flexible, soft actuator. To effectively sweep and pull slippery vegetation, that muscle requires a high-friction surface to establish a secure grip. That sandpaper sensation is the exact intersection of those two requirements, a high-friction grip and heavy-duty armor, built for constant, repetitive mechanical loading. Moving from the tongue to the jaw reveals a major structural anomaly in this harvesting system. Cattle do not possess any upper front teeth. In place of incisors, the upper front jaw is occupied by a tough, dense, expansive tissue known as the dental pad. This anatomy dictates exactly how the animal harvests grass. First, the tongue extends outward, wrapping around the plant material and pulling it backward. The lips help position the forage, while the lower incisors drive forcefully upward. Because there are no opposing teeth to slice against, those lower incisors pin the grass directly against the hard dental pad, acting exactly like a blade pressing into an anvil. With the forage clamped securely tight, the cow uses a distinct upward jerking movement of its head to physically break the stems. Animals equipped with both upper and lower teeth, like horses, can cleanly snip vegetation flush with the ground. Relying on a tongue and a dental pad means cattle cannot crop pasture all the way down to the dirt. The tongue, lower incisors, and dental pad operate as a single harvesting unit. This entire oral system is designed to mechanically process forage as it enters the mouth. This exact same biological equipment is deployed when cattle are moved from open pasture into modern feeding environments to consume formulated rations. In a feed bunk, the tunnel must physically interact with varying particle sizes, moisture levels, and densities of mixed grain and roughage. Because the tone is highly precise, cattle can actually sort their feed. They use it to isolate and consume specific ingredients they prefer, leaving other particles behind in the bunk. Back out of pasture, this physical interface dictates total intake. If the grass becomes too short for the tongue to establish a grip, the bite nos drops, and the animal struggles to consume enough feed, even if the nutritional quality of the grass is excellent. The physical form and accessibility of the feed determine whether the animal can eat it. A cow has to physically acquire its food before digestion can begin. The anatomy of the bovine mouth perfectly demonstrates the biological rule that structure supports function. This initial mechanical handling allows the tongue to properly mix the feed with saliva and form a dense bolus ready for the rumen. So, when a cow licks your hand and it feels like coarse grit scraping across your skin, that sandpaper texture is no accident. It is a million-year-old adaptation designed to withstand and manipulate the abrasive properties of the plant-based world.